Devin Feely spoke with a doctor who's working to find a cure for what's being called long COVID.
I couldn't speak for more than 15 minutes without being completely out of breath. And I couldn't walk for more than 5 minutes without heart palpitations.
Andrea Berlin is a so-called long hauler. She caught COVID-19 in March of last year and was left months later with lingering, devastating, and persistent after effects that often made her feel like a prisoner in her own body.
I was still pretty incapacitated. I wasn't able to work, whereas I was working full-time before. And I was pretty desperate and really actually quite depressed.
In her desperation, Andrea connected with Dr. Bruce Patterson, who was doing some pioneering research on the underlying causes of long hauler syndrome. His research team believes that the cause is a remnant of the virus, a fragment that remains trapped in the body, triggering the immune system long after the active infection has been cleared.
This was a unique circumstance where there were cells still carrying the viral protein, but not the viral genes that are required for replication.
The presence of those viral fragments, Dr. Patterson says, can produce a wide array of side effects, including shortness of breath, fatigue and lethargy, heart problems, joint pain, and so-called brain fog, memory and concentration issues. Armed with this understanding of long hauler syndrome, Dr. Patterson has devised a potential treatment using two types of drugs already on the market, one for the treatment of high cholesterol and another commonly used for HIV patients.
So we stop them from migrating all over the body with a class of drugs called CCR5 antagonists, and then we keep them from binding to the blood vessels with statins. And because they can't bind to the blood vessels, they tend to die off quicker.
Andrea says the treatment has given her her body and her life back.
I'm working almost full time now. I have 3 young kids. I can play with them.
Devin Feely, KPIX5.
Experts say this form of COVID can develop from any form of the infection, whether it was mild, severe, or even asymptomatic.
From sports injuries to arthritis, all kinds of musculoskeletal problems are now treated with laser therapy. Professional athletes like the Toronto Raptors and Maple Leafs use low-intensity laser therapy to help them get back into the game. And now, armchair athletes can too. We visited the Meditech Laser Rehab Clinic to check it out.
We utilize a low-intensity laser, which in essence is a healing laser. We've been treating patients for approximately 10 years.
Hi, Ken.
How you doing?
Good.
I have an appointment with Dr. Kahn.
Great. He'll be with you in just a minute.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
I was an ex-hockey player, professional hockey player, and it's just one of the old injuries coming back on me, and gradually gotten worse to the point where I have very little feeling in my arm.
If you want to just remove your shirt from me, and I'll get you light down. Thank you.
Ken has fairly severe traumatic arthritis of the spine. He has only had, I believe, 5 treatments and has had about 70% of relief of his symptoms. No longer requires medication. So he demonstrated quite a rapid response, and I think he'll continue to do extremely well. Laser light stimulates the cells, in essence, to repair themselves. How much improvement have you made since the last treatment?
First 2, I really noticed a very big difference, and then after the 3rd, I had a bit of a regression.
So we'll make a minor protocol adjustment change today.
I'm having pain treated in my back from a fracture that I had, and it's left me with pain in my mid-back, particularly on one side, and I have a lot of scar tissue, and hoping that the laser will break some of that up.
She has quite severe degenerative osteoarthritis of the spine, which was also aggravated by an additional injury skiing. So she has a fair amount of pain and discomfort. Other than surgery and anti-inflammatory, there's really very limited therapy available. So this is where laser is so applicable.
Just go ahead and put those on for me, please.
Currently, the cost is $30 for a half an hour of treatment.
With my last treatments that I've had, as soon as I get up and go off the table, I do feel relief right away.
Okay, Nancy, we're all finished.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
The patient generally requires anywhere from 1 to 30 treatments, depending on the condition. Acute conditions generally respond much more quickly and are often resolved in 2 to 5 treatments, whereas chronic conditions take considerably longer. Good to see you. Robert, who came approximately 8 months ago, utilized 2 very stout canes, moved extremely slowly, and never unaided, and was basically immobile.
The pain was so severe that I could not stand up, and I could not even take a shower. I'd have to sit on a plastic chair in order to bathe. It really was unbelievably terrible. At a social gathering, I met Dr. Kahn. One thing led to another, and I ended up here and getting the treatment. Now, I can stand in the shower, and I even worked on a stepladder and put a drop ceiling in the laundry room of our house, and there was absolutely no way whatsoever I could have ever done that. And my goodness gracious, that's probably the best dinner I've ever gone to.
Now Dr. Fred Kahn joins us to tell us more. Welcome. Laser is being used for almost everything now, from laser eye therapy to wrinkles to sports injuries. And when it comes to sports injuries, we've had mixed reviews in the past about laser. So tell us how the technology has changed and what we're now looking at.
Basically, the engineering of the devices today has become much better. The device has become more sophisticated electronically, and we've really been the leaders in that. There are about 6 different parameters that we can adjust to control the photon stream of particles that are used to irradiate the tissues and, in essence, heal the tissues. So it's become extremely sophisticated from an engineering point of view, and also the application has become more dramatically evolved.
Now, in terms of the applications for this, we're looking at all types of musculoskeletal injuries. Is it good for fractures? What can you use this for and not use it for?
You can use it for virtually any musculoskeletal problem, and all tissue consists of cells, so all cells respond. Bone tissue, of course, being more dense, responds less to the nerve tissue, which is quite sensitive to laser. But all tissue does respond to varying degrees.
Now we have all types of other modalities that we see the physiotherapists use, for example, things like TENS that now are being brought into home systems. Are we likely to see lasers that are used professionally being brought into home models that we'll be able to use on our own?
We're working on a number of prototypes with regard to that, and the one thing that laser therapy distinguishes itself from the other modalities such as TENS, ultrasound, interferential current, it's curative. It heals the cells at the biomolecular level.
Well, that's all great news. Thank you so much for sharing this new technology with us. Dr. Kahn is going to be back later in the show for Ask an Expert. Up next on Balance, unique training techniques with Rod Black.
Let's see if I can get this down. Hey everybody, so I just shared a few things. I keep sharing. I've been sharing for 2 years, 2+ years. Early treatments saves lives. It goes back to EMS paramedic school. I know we're doing this in the afternoon, and there's not many people that can see this live, but I hope that you, as a long hauler or someone who's post mRNA who are suffering long COVID type issues, start sharing, start advocating. So many of these rooms are full. The long COVID, long hauler rooms are full. So many of the mRNA rooms of post-vaccine injured people are outpacing long hauler rooms. They have made you guys go and hide in these rooms because you've been gaslighted. You've been told that you're crazy, all kinds of things, but there are doctors that are out there like Patterson, Pierre Corey, Dr. Paul Merritt, Dr. Bean, Brett Weinstein. There are so many people that are advocating for you. They have been fighting for you, the patients. They've been fighting for you to get these treatments and protocols out there. But what I see in the long haul rooms is misery loves company. A lot of people just share their misery, and it's a good therapy source. But if you do not get out there and you do not start advocating and you do not come together as a group of people, this will not be taken care of. Oops. It will not be taken care of. We need you guys to come out of the rooms, come out of the darkness, start letting there be light, sharing your stories, advocating for yourselves and your family and your friends, or if you have a loved one who's been suffering, share their stories, because the news is not covering this in a way that is showing you the amount of people that are suffering from this. And because of that, a lot of people have been gaslighted, even by you or your friends, because you're tired of hearing about it, whatever it may be. This is not a lost cause. I had an asshole. I'm going to call him an asshole because the way he replied to me, as someone who comes from a spiritual background, and someone who also is from a spiritual background, told me just to give it up. Stop. I'm wasting my time, wasting my breath. I go, really? On what? This isn't going away. We're 2+ years in. Your boy, the ones that are pro mRNA, listen, I had it before the virus came out, before the mRNAs came out. I had long COVID before the mRNAs came out. I was already 2 strikes against the mRNAs beforehand. They knew from the very beginning if you had immunosuppressant, if you were immunocompromised, that these were not good for you because they would suppress or they would weaken your immune system. That was from RIP, so they were never an option for me at the beginning. 2, when the trials came out, and somebody who knows the pharmaceutical industry like the back of my hand, and know the players, the usual suspects, and when I was reading the trials, the original trials, and the data, it wasn't good. They paused all the trials. So, 2, there were drugs and treatments and generic drugs that were out there that were working, that they were suppressing. So it has to go, why? Why was that going on? Why have they suppressed drugs that are on the NIH's own website? I can pull them all up. every single one of them up, or I can share slides, whatever it may be. But the truth is out there, and the truth will set you free. This is a virus that is causing post-viral syndrome in a lot of people. The spike protein is causing a lot of post-viral issues. I just shared Dr. Patterson. I can share. You need to become the virus itself. That means people that are long haulers, stop letting your voice be not heard. That means come together, not just go in groups and hide in the groups and talk, but come out in public. Start connecting everybody that are long haulers. Speak, advocate. Find out who your congressmen and your senators are and go, hey, how come you can call them up if you have to call them every fucking day? Say, how come? And I shared a few of these bills, and if you have any questions, find me and I will send you the bills to you, because I've been before the Congress and the Senate twice now, 2 times, 2 years now in a row, trying to get these bills passed for you. Not for me. I've been getting treatments. I've been getting therapies. Not because I'm rich. I put every dime I've had into the charity, the organization, to try to find solutions to these problems. It's for you guys. It's not for me. I made a promise to a friend, Conrad Buchanan, who passed from this early on when they said young people weren't dying, who leaves behind a beautiful wife and a daughter who will never get to see their father ever again. They didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. That was my promise to him, that if I could stop one person from dying from this, or one more of my friends, I would. 2+ years later, as a messenger, I keep going. I don't care if it's one person, 2 people. 1 person a day is all I care about. If I can reach 1 person a day and they can find out, oh my God, there are treatments and there are drugs and there are protocols that can help me get out of this nightmare of hell that I'm in, that's my goal. And if we can break these walls down and get rid of these bureaucrats that have been keeping these from you, that would be the next big change. And helping getting these bills passed so you all can get treatments. So the public can understand that the boogeyman does have a weakness. It does have its own kryptonite. And that we could have saved millions of lives early on. So that's why I do what I do. Please share. Please like. Please comment. If you're a long hauler, say, put LH in the comment, and do not be ashamed because you got something that you didn't ask for that is causing you long-term serious health issues. Brain fog, loss of taste and smell, vision issues, the neurological issues. They keep calling people crazy. Well, it's your serotonin and a lot of other things are inflamed. And when that's happening, you can expect and understand. You ever get a really bad fever and it almost to the point where it makes you delirious? Well, that's what's going on with a lot of long haulers. There's so much inflammation going on that the system is just not functioning properly. They're not crazy. They have a virus that's been loading in their system and a spike protein that has been just causing chaos with things like multi-organ failure, spinal stenosis, vagus nerves being attacked. These are serious downstream issues. And I need you. I need you. I need you guys. You. I need long haulers. I need post-mRNA people that are still suffering. Come out. Come on the show. Come on the podcast. Let's talk about it. Share your stories. When we officially open the center here in Sarasota, I will treat the first, 20, 30 long haulers on me, on my dime. My time, my dime. Because I want your stories out there. I want you to show that there is hope for humanity, especially with this cause. Because we got 99,000 problems right now. Food, energy crisis, inflation crisis, you name it. But COVID is still going to be number one. Your boy Fauci just got this yesterday, it's probably the 2nd or 3rd time, and they're probably giving him all the good drugs that they're keeping from you guys. Because they know those mRNAs are not stopping the spread, not stopping you from getting it, and they sure as hell ain't stopping from long-term disease, because we're seeing it. We are seeing it. So we need option number C, D, E, F, and G to help people get past this. This is a global issue too. We're not. It isn't lucky us. Now the slides I shared earlier, Dr. Gustavo is from Peru. They have been treating, and we've been working with these teams since the very beginning. There's over 140 plus teams that are globally connected. I'm on 3 of the teams. We've seen the data from the very beginning, and we know this. In Peru, and Dr. Braun and I have had a little conversation about this, but Peru only has less than 4% showing long haulers syndrome. So they're doing something right. Now we know genetics has a huge deal to play with this, but if you're not getting treatments to people, if you're not allowing their immune systems to give them the help that they need, they will continue to progress downstream issues. So you need to take care of the disease, the viral loading, the breaking of the spike protein, and helping the immune systems get rebuilt. On that note, guys, bless you. Please share. Long haulers, you're in the rooms already. I just shared this in a few rooms. Please watch. Please share. Please comment. My homies out there, people who believe and understand that this is a pure cause, until my last breath, I promise you, I'm going to be helping long haulers. To my last breath, I'm going to make sure that it doesn't, this is the hill I die on. Until we get past the ability to start treating these people right here, right now, and stop their suffering, I cannot, with good conscience, knowing that these are out there, stop talking about this. I can't. If it was your father, your husband, your wife, your child, we forget this. Long hauler kids. Please get me to some long hauler kids. I want to end their suffering too. There is no cures, 0 cures, but there sure as fuck is treatments. There are protocols out there that have been out there, generic drugs that are safe, effective, and can help you end suffering. I promise you, I swear on my life, I swear on my parents' grave, I swear a stack on 100 Bibles. Early treatments will save lives. Look, Pfizer's got their new early treatment drug. They say within 5 days. They basically hijacked some of the protocols that we helped develop. They changed a few molecules on a drug that most people know about, IBM. And they're finding out that you can copy us, but you can't replicate the success, especially if they're mRNA jabbed, because there's just some things they did wrong. But on the plus side, there is hope. Please, God, just get this out to one person a day. Please, God, let these people hear and understand. Let them stop being blind, deaf, and dumb to what is going on, because it will eventually come to you, I promise. One way or the other, we're talking 1 in 6 people are showing something. So please help support the cause. Please help get this out there. And please know there are treatments and there are drug protocols and there are therapies that can end so much of the suffering. The early stages of Alzheimer's that I was suffering from, the early stages of CTE that I was suffering and documented from, we've been able to basically reverse it. It's a miracle. But it's not like I put some holy water on my head and all of a sudden I was cured, or someone tapped me on my head and said, Jesus has it. No. It took fighting. It took a lot of time and working with these treatment protocols to get back. So all I want to do is give back what I got back and help you guys get out of pain, because it's terrible. That's just one issue with it. The advocating part, we can use an army of you, because these senators and these congressmen, if you don't put their feet to the fire, they will do squat. They will do nothing. We can send $100 billion to Ukraine. Well, how about you give me $1 billion in our group of teams and watch what the fuck happens? I say, I'm a first level Christian. I do cuss. I try not to, I promise you. But in the end, the ultimate goal is to help our people. The meek shall inherit the earth if you stop doing nothing. If you keep doing nothing, the meek will inherit the earth, put it that way. But if you start helping your brothers and sisters and get on with being, we are all connected, watch how fast a lot of the underlying issues of mental health, the way people are not acting properly with each other, watch how fast we can get back to some normal civilization when we start handling and tackling the problems that are right before our face, but we choose to do this, and this. On that, have a blessed day.